Okay, so maybe a quick video. I'm not too sure, but I wanted to talk about something that I've observed today while I was in the gym. Now, I'm trying to bring myself to the next level physically. I think I've been at this kind of body shape for too long. I want my glutes to look a little bit bigger. I want pretty much my whole lower half to be just a little bit more bigger. I don't want to look like the typical male dad who has a big belly, like a beer belly, and then he has no glutes at all, and it's not the ideal body shape. So I wanted to cut down, but I've realized that I'm already really skinny, so I figured I needed to get some fat on me. And my daily routine is I don't eat. I fast, but I've recently kind of been eating a little bit more because I figured I needed to gain fat so that I can get more fat into my glutes so that I can look better. So these past 2 days I've eaten like burgers and fries. I've had like I have Raisin Bran. I just recently bought that, and I've been eating like crazy. And what I've realized is that when I was in the gym, I looked like shit, and I felt like shit too. Like I was really gassy. I looked in the mirror and I saw that my arms were really veiny, and I noticed this a lot whenever I eat sugar and I eat like shit. My arms become really veiny, but then my stomach becomes like jello. And what I've come to realize is that it's because of the carbs and the sugar, and it's because carbs and sugar gets converted into estrogen. So last week I had eaten just really mostly meat and raw cashews. The interesting thing about that is whenever I'd go to sleep after eating that, I'd wake up feeling so much stronger. Like I would feel the fat being converted into muscle. I would feel my stomach tightening up. I'd feel the caves in the just a bunch of angles on my stomach, and I could really feel my abs tightening up. But when I woke up today after eating like burgers and fries and just a bunch of estrogen filled food, because carbs gets converted into sugar into the body. Sugar then gets converted into fat in the body, and then fat gets converted into estrogen. And estrogen, having more estrogen means you, as a man, you gain more body fat and you lose muscle. So I've just been eating estrogen, and because of that, I've been waking up and I don't feel strong. I still have enough mental fortitude to go to the gym. I take cold showers every other day. I did my normal routine. I woke up early today. But when I went to the gym and I was trying to lift heavy weights, I felt extremely weak. And it's because of the food I've been eating. And I'm looking around, and I've noticed this for quite a while in the gym. I've seen people who work harder than me in the gym, and for a while I've had I've switched diets so many times just to test different things out. And I'm glad I ate the cereal. I'm gonna be throwing it out, but I'm glad I ate it because it just gave me that utter realization that men need meat. And when you think about it, it just makes sense. And without knowing the science, people would get triggered. But you think about our roles as creatures, evolutionarily as men and women. Men have always been the ones to hunt the meat because they could. They hunt the meat in groups. The women weren't strong enough; they couldn't hunt the meat. Not to mention, women are just mostly they're very nice creatures. They're very nice, they're very sensitive, and they're very introverted. They're the ones who are saving the animals out there. They don't want to kill the animals. The men are the ones who are savage enough to do it, and so it's just in our roles, in our natural roles, to do it. I feel much more powerful when I'm eating, like raw meat, than if I grab cake and ice cream. My body just feels like jello. I feel the weight. The reason why my arms become veiny is because the water weight gets converted all to my stomach, and so I get this body dysmorphia when I look in the mirror. Where I look in the mirror and I'm like, well, what happened to my glutes? They were looking nice the other day. What today they suddenly just seem to just skinned out. It's because all the water just went straight into my stomach, and that's an interesting point because for women it actually works differently, and that's because the body fat is distribution. It's much more natural for a woman when she eats a lot more like fruits and vegetables, which are carb heavy, to go straight to her breasts and straight to her glutes, right? Like when we look at somebody like a woman who has a really like her ass bounces, it's water. It's estrogen. It's carbs. It's fruits and vegetables being converted into water, and it's going straight into those areas. Whereas for me, it just went to my stomach, and I'm looking in the mirror in the gym, and I'm like, what the hell happened? My chest doesn't seem to hold up as right. It seems to kind of sag now. I don't have the angles anymore. And yeah, that's just something that I wanted to kind of put out there for people who are not getting any results. I was looking around and I was like, I'm looking at all these guys and they could have strong calves, and their calves are like very like tight. And it's the same thing with me. Whereas when I'm looking in the mirror, I have really veiny arms. I'm seeing these guys have strong calves, but then I'm looking at their stomach and their chest, and it's saggy. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, they're eating like shit, just like I did. That's really what's going on. They could be lifting heavy, they can be doing all types of work, and I've seen people who worked harder than me in the gym, but they just look like shit, and it's because you are what you eat. And so I'm not sure what I'm going to title this video, but the important takeaway here is that for men especially, if you're having no results in the gym, look at what you eat. If you're eating too much bread, pasta, rice, like anything that's carb heavy, get a list. Even vegetables and fruits are very carb heavy. And if you carbs, like carbohydrates is, if you put bread under a sink of water, it's gonna soak it all up, right? But if you put meat under water, it's just gonna bounce off. It's not gonna soak it all up like that. So when it's going into the body, your body's just turning into jello, it's turning into water basically. And it's going straight to your stomach because you're not a woman. A woman, it goes straight to her boobs, it goes straight to her hips. It looks good, it's natural, it's fine. And this is something I've noticed too, is that when I do eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, is that I notice that my pee smells like baby formula. I don't know if anybody else has discovered that, but if I'm eating purely vegan diet, I notice that it smells like breast milk. Like whenever I pee, it smells literally like breast milk. It just goes to show you that we have roles. If you don't believe me, try this yourself. It might be different for you. I think there's a bit of, and I'll make a video on this at some point, just evolutionary diets that some people should kind of stick to based on their ancestors. I could get into that. I'll get into that in some other video, but yeah, I've seen a lot of people work a lot harder than me, and they've just look like shit. Just stomach is out, chest is flabby, face is like puffy. And I noticed this too, like my lower neck area started getting a lot of water, and so it just, my jawline isn't as defined because of that. My face still looks pretty okay, but it's just, if I keep it up like that, then I'm gonna start looking like shit. The muscles are gonna start weakening in my face. Before I know it, I'm gonna have a very flabby face. The muscles are just gonna weaken, and I'm not gonna be able to keep up. So, yeah, I figured today was kind of a, as far as the gym goes, it was kind of a flop, but I didn't want this whole day to be a flop, so I figured I'd share my observations. And if you're somebody, you've been working really hard in the gym and you're giving it your all and you're just looking in the mirror and you're not seeing the results, put most of your efforts into eating the right food. Eat raw meat. If you're a man, eat raw meat. Eat, maybe peanut butter. We talk about protein a lot and how that synthesizes your muscles, but people don't really mention that most of the protein you eat is also in meat, and meat also helps kind of synergize the testosterone. Testosterone itself, if you look at the, you got to be involved in the trans group, but when they take testosterone, just in it of itself, it converts fat into muscle, and so they just start gaining muscle. They can eat the same diet they've been doing, and yet just testosterone in itself helps to do that. You're eating meat, there's no estrogen there, so all you're doing is synergizing your testosterone. So you're helping in converting your fat into muscle just by doing that. And if you're a woman, I'd say stay away from meat mostly. I mean, when you look at the studies, that you guys are women already doing that. As far as vegan, women take up, I think 80% of vegans are women. Maybe it's a little bit less than that, but it's around that same area. It just goes to show you that it just makes sense. It's our natural roles. If you do these things, I'm sure you're gonna become more healthy mentally and physically.